as you can tell by the new intro for the month, it's October. Scary stuff. I'm not gonna say the season that everyone says online.
No,
I'm
no,
gonna
no,
avoid
it's
that.
not. It's not the season. It's the season of the
There
scares.
you go. That's good. I'm Jasoned up. We're gonna get ready. So today we
I'm
are.
Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Oh, nice, nice. Very horror adjacent. We love it.
Yeah, yeah, big
Uh,
bald man.
and today we're going to be tier ranking a lot of horror franchises. It's not every horror franchise ever, but it is some of the big ones. And this, yeah, I'd say they're all the big ones. There's like the odd weird one chucked in, but these are some big franchises. So,
Yeah.
the kind of setup for this one is this isn't ranking the characters. We will be doing that another time. This is all the films, all the quality of the films, and I'm gonna have to try real hard to not just be biased and go, yeah, I love Jason. Nah, he's the best. So
Yeah, okay.
let's jump
You
straight.
start with Jason.
No, we don't start with Jason. Oh,
Yeah, okay.
sorry, we do. Never mind. Right, so
Uh,
we'll go through the tiers again because I do like doing that part, and then we'll jump
Let's go.
straight into it. So at the top tier, we've got Goat.
The GOAT, baby.
I feel like I'm gonna feel like there's not gonna be many up there today, but we'll see.
You
I
think?
do think.
I
We'll
think I'm
see.
going to be fighting to keep them out of it.
Next up, we've got Bangin'. That's good.
Oh,
we love
yeah.
a bit of Bangin'. Banging's safe. Banging's good. Good
Yeah,
place to be.
banging safe, yeah.
Then we've got Mid.
Uh,
It's all right.
You know.
Yeah. I feel like you're gonna have a lot in there.
Oh god, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it'd probably be like no, let's not spoil, but yeah, probably.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna spoil too much.
Then we've got get a load of this guy.
hey,
Got a little bit of that. Wait,
Get a load of this guy.
Not good. Not
not
good.
good.
Not good.
not good.
And then we've got Stinky. Yeah, no, you don't want to be in there, but I fear a few may slip in here. But
Oh, there's definitely gonna be a few in there, boy.
we will see. Okay, so just for reference, you haven't seen every film in this franchise, in these franchises, obviously.
No,
You
I've
kind of
probably
went for the
seen-
more kind of. I recommended you which ones to watch. You watched them.
Yeah, so you are the horror boy. I am not the horror boy. So I've probably genuinely watched 3, maybe 4
Yeah.
full franchises of the bigger stuff. Obviously, there's a few in there was like 1 or 2 films or 3 films where
Yeah.
I've probably seen them all. But yeah, as far as big franchises, I probably watched about 3 or 4. So the rest of this has been, yeah, as I said, there's been recommendations from you where I've seen 2 of most.
Yes. Yes.
Basically.
So just before we get in, the ones you said you hadn't seen is The Strangers. I think that was it.
Yeah, I think that's it. Yeah.
Cool. So that's
So we
fine.
will flag it out along the way.
Yes, we will. So let's kick it
The
off.
journey in there.
This has all been randomized. I haven't placed these in the way, so it's just whatever comes at us, we'll cover. So first up,
Okay.
Friday the 13th.
Oh wow! Wow! What a surprise!
So, in all honesty, I love this franchise. Obviously, it's probably my favorite. I love it, but it isn't good. It isn't good. If we're being true,
No.
it's not good.
The first one's rubbish.
The first one
is
is
rubbish.
It is rubbish. I agree. Which
I
ones
like
did
the
you watch?
first one.
Which ones did you watch?
I've seen the first one because I think it was like a while back when I was kind of going through franchises.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah, I watched the first one, and then I watched 3
Okay.
and 4,
Okay.
or 2 and 5.
Okay.
I can't remember.
What did you think? What did you
Jason
think?
Lives.
Yeah, Jason Lives. Okay. What did you think?
Which one's that?
That is 6.
Oh, 4 and 6 then maybe.
There we go. Final chapter, Jason Lives.
Yes, that sounds correct.
Fantastic. So, what were we saying? What do you think?
I like them.
Yeah?
I do like them. I
Okay.
enjoy them. They're the best basic horror film.
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's why I love it.
This is horror. This is horror 101, isn't it?
Mhm.
Big scary man killing people. They kind of kill him at the end. Comes back. Big scary man kills people.
Yes.
Kind of what we go with here. Yeah, I think he kind of blurs the line enough. Like he's silly.
Yeah.
It's not stupid.
It does get
Kind of-
stupid further along we go, but
well, obviously, when you hit like 10, 12 films, you're going to have a few stupid films, aren't you? But yeah, it's not too serious. It's not too silly.
yeah.
It's Jason, isn't it?
Okay. So,
Quite enjoyed them.
on your basis of what you've seen, where would you rank old JC boy? Like,
It's difficult, isn't it? Because I think if you're looking at films, obviously, yeah, so character-wise, you'd be
Yeah, so that's the kind of rules I wanted to set out.
Say,
this is franchise rankings. If we're going characters,
Yeah.
like obviously, I think
Yeah,
spoilers,
yeah,
Jason's
yeah,
at the top.
yeah.
Films-wise,
I would go Banging.
yeah. I'm going to agree with you. I think there's a lot of bad in this franchise, but I think the good ones are so good, and the two I recommended you are pretty much my favorites. So I think those two are a lot of fun. So yeah, I'll agree with you. I think Banging is the place to put Friday the 13th.
Yeah, I enjoyed them.
Cool. Nice start. Nice start for arguably one of the most iconic on this list. So very nice. So next is 28 Days, Weeks Later.
Do you know what? It's really good, isn't it?
So
if we're honest,
here's the thing. I think they are really well. I think the first one's really good. I think the second one really fumbles a lot. It's got some amazing scenes, but I don't think.
Yeah, I don't remember the second one as well.
Yeah, the first one is obviously iconic. Like, it was made on a budget of like 2p. I mean, it's incredible.
Yeah,
so good.
Yeah. Because it's almost like a British take, isn't it, basically, on zombies?
Yeah. And like obviously some iconic actors got their start here. What's his name? Cillian Murphy, obviously. Like, it's an amazing film. But the second one is where I'm like, don't really care as much.
Yeah, it's fair. I don't really remember it as well, as I said. So I don't know, like, I'm interested because 28 years later's come in.
Yeah, but have you heard about it? It's being filmed on an iPhone.
Okay, cool.
What is that?
So interesting. Yeah, I like the different take on zombies. I quite enjoyed the film.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think if we're looking at them as a two, I guess the fact that I can't remember the second as well, it's pretty mid.
It is, and which kind
level out.
Yeah, I think I'm between Banging and mid, but I think it kind of depends on the next one, and then the second one isn't as memorable, so I'm happy to go mid.
Yeah, if this one's a banger, and then the second one probably be a bit of a.
Yeah, I agree. So it kind of levels.
So
I
think mid.
Totally agree.
Unfortunately, it's just because it's two films. Maybe 20 years later it's Banging, and it'll be more of a banger.
It'll bump up, yeah. We'll make a random one-off video where we go, hang on, we got to move this franchise.
we got it wrong.
Okay, so next up is a lovely little franchise called Gremlins. I love Gremlins. What do you think about Gremlins?
Yeah, no, I mean it's Gremlins, isn't it? Like, it's a weird one. Like,
yeah, it's very odd.
Is it? Is it a horror?
It's like it's basically a gateway horror franchise, isn't it? It's kind of what you put on for your kids to watch, like.
Yeah, I mean, it is just, I didn't, when I seen the list, I was a bit like, well, okay, like, I don't see this as a horror film at all. But yeah, I love Gremlins, so it's like, I don't really know.
This is my Christmas horror. This is my go-to Christmas horror. Do you know what I mean? I put this on every one.
I mean, if we're just going on films alone, is Banging.
Yeah,
like, surely.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, first one for me is GOAT. Like, is a great film. Like, genuinely incredible. Second one, again, drops the ball. So I think to kind of level it out would go Banging. So what we saying, Banging?
Yeah, I'm happy with Banging. But as I said, it's just,
it's a little curveball for you, isn't it?
I don't see this as a horror film. I know probably there's a lot of people out there going, well, actually, but I just...
Yeah.
Fair. It's Banging franchise. I just think if we're looking at it as a horror, as a
I think
horror,
it's really scary, but it's a scary.
It's Geller and this guy. It's a horror. It is, but it's Gremlins, so it's good.
It's a banger.
Yeah, I guess it is. It is Banging.
Next one, I don't know how many of these you've seen. Final Destination.
All of them.
You've seen them all.
I love them.
Do you? Okay, so where would you put these? Because I am like, really, this is one of those franchises that I wish I loved more than I do.
I love them.
Really? All of them?
I love them. Well, I mean, the first one's class, obviously.
First one's amazing.
The first one's class. The second one, I think, is probably just... It's not quite the same number. It's not like a drop-off. Sick. Third one is when they went 3D.
No, third one is roller coaster. Fourth is 3D.
Fourth is 3D. And then he did a fifth then, did he?
Yeah.
Which is almost like... Which ends up being a prequel.
Yeah, which is really... This is like the coolest thing ever.
Yeah. It's really solid though, isn't it?
I think it's a mixed bag of a franchise because I think the highs are really high and the lows get really low. That 3D film is so bad. It's fun.
Which one's a 3D one again?
So 3D one, the car, yeah.
Yeah.
It's so bad.
As memorable.
No, but it's fun. That's the thing. It's a fun film.
think 1, 2, 3, and 5
Yeah.
generally are pretty solid.
See, I'm more of a 1 and 5 are really good. 2 and 3,
You like 2 and 3?
I think they're good, but I think they're overrated.
It got some.
But the kills are fantastic, so
Yeah, I was gonna say it's got some incredible kills in it.
if we were basing this on kills, this would be the top. Like, it's so good. But I just think the film's kind of, when you get to 2 and 3, I'm a bit like, you did 1 so well, and then 2 and 3, they're kind of like trying to one up themselves, and I'm like, it's just not as memorable because you don't have as good characters as the first film.
Yeah, I mean, 1 has, as my opinion, the best death in horror or
The
in
head.
film. No,
Oh.
the one, the teacher.
Oh, like the never-ending thing that just keeps going.
It's so good.
It's
man.
brilliant.
That whole scene is fantastic.
Yeah, it is good.
Okay, well, where would you go then? 'Cause I think
I'm a high, mid, low banging. If you want to go banging, I'm happy to go banging.
yeah, I want to go banging.
Yeah,
I wouldn't go gun. It's definitely not go gun.
No.
But I think as a whole, yeah, it's definitely banging.
I'm looking forward to the next one they do, because what is it called? I think it's called Bloodline, something like that. I'm looking forward to that. But I just hope
I'll watch all of them.
I hope it follows more of the 5th one rather than like the 4th one. Do you know what I mean? If it follows the 5th one,
the 5th one is fantastic.
it's a surprisingly good film. Like, it's really, really
The
good.
twist is genuinely like
So
sick
sick.
as well at the end.
Gets me every time.
Yeah.
Cool. So banging. There we go. We got a few in banging so far. This is going well.
Yeah,
I think this is where the controversy kicks in. Halloween. What are you saying about old Michael Myers? Do you know what?
It fucking stinks.
Right, which ones did you watch?
I watched 1 and the remake, and they fucking
Oh,
stink.
you didn't like either of
Hero.
those ones, really?
1 is worse. The original Halloween is dreadful. Fucking boring, dreadful.
That's mad. That is
It's
crazy.
just rubbish, innit? Like, he just doesn't do anything. He's fucking boring. What's he do? He strangles people. You're like, ooh, sorry, big hard man. It's rubbish. That's a rubbish. It's just nothing happens. It's fucking boring. Dreadful.
I love the first one. Second one is okay. Second one's alright. Anything past that, I just don't understand how this became such a big franchise personally. Like, I don't get it.
Rubbish.
And then the new remake, well, then the new ones that are like continuations from the original are so mixed. I think the first one's really good. I think the second one is so stupid, but it's so much more entertaining than the first one. And then the last one is garbage. So realistically, for me, this goes get a load of this guy, because I love 2 entries in this very long franchise. I think 2 entries are really good.
But I watched them.
No, I know you did.
Rubbish.
I don't think
I just think him as a like horror. He is an icon, but why? I have no idea. Because he's fucking bland. And like the first film, is it a mistake? When they take his mask off, is that a mistake?
Why?
Because it looks like it really should not have happened.
No, so
Like when it happened, he pulls like you've got this like. This is the thing I dislike. I'll just go over what I dislike about horror films. What I dislike about horror films is when they're an immortal human. That should never happen. You should never be an immortal human. But this guy is a man. Like in all these films, they're going, he's just a bloke who can just withstand constant fucking bombardment.
Yeah.
And they just pull his, and you've got this like terrifying man who's going around strangling people. He has that one, the knife scene in the second film's far better because he actually gets to the throat, which would make sense and standing up.
The
stomach.
It's so funny. The knife's got to be about that big. Like.
There's no way that if you stab someone in the stomach and held them up, they would flop. They wouldn't stand up straight. But yeah, so you have like that, and then she just pulls his mask off, and it's just a bloke.
Yes, so
you're like, it loses everything. You just go, oh, you're just some guy.
Yeah, and
it's not like
I can honestly completely agree with you. So I don't know how much you know about the horror, like the history of these films. No. This film was supposed to be a one and done film. It was supposed to be Halloween, and that was it. No, and even the director said this. So the studio picked it up. This film blew up. Like people loved this back in 74, 76, whatever it was, and they loved it. So the producers were like, "We need another one." But John Carpenter, the director, said, "No, he's dead. Like he died. He wanted him to just be a normal man, a killer, and dead. That was it." They paid him a lot of money, and they went, "We want a sequel." So he went, "Okay, fine." Did a sequel. Killed him off in the second one. That was supposed to be the end. Third one comes out, it's a completely different film. No Michael Myers, people hated it. 4 comes around, they're like, we need him back, pay him a load more money. He does it again, and then it just kept going and going and going and going until they reached like the 11th film, where what rapper is it?
It's 11 of these films,
but there's about 14 now. So what I like in the new continuity, the 2018 one, in Halloween Kills, they kind of explain that he's more of he's almost like a spirit, which is good. I like when they change him and he's more of a kind of being. Do you know what I mean? And then in the last one, they just end it and they go, no, actually, we lied. And I'm just like, what? This franchise is so stupid. Such a stupid franchise.
So you want to put it in Gallo, this guy. You're like 2 out of 14. It fucking stinks. Put it down the bottom.
I mean,
2 out of 14. 2 out of 14.
I say probably like 13.
2 out of 13.
I think the first one for me is my go-to Halloween, like in general, season film. Like I love that first film so much. But I can actually agree. I'm not. It's probably my hot take of like the whole thing. I don't get this franchise like at all.
It stinks.
I just don't.
It was dreadful.
Like we tried to we sat down and did like 3, 4, 5, 6. Me and Ash did, and we couldn't get through it. Like it's just
yeah. I'd never watch another one ever again.
Fair.
Nothing. There was nothing you could tell me about this franchise that would interest
No,
me.
I think the only one you'd get a kick out would be the next one from the 2018 one, because it gets to a point where it's so ridiculous, and you're just like, what the fuck is this? Do you know what I mean? But it's funny. Anyway, moving on to the next one that I know you like. So, Evil Dead franchise.
Where did you put this?
I put it right at the bottom. It's in the bottom.
Thank you.
It's in the bottom.
Thank you.
I can agree with it. I think if we were rating Halloween of the first film, it wouldn't go there. But this, yeah, I agree. Yeah, Evil Dead. So we're going Evil Dead. I know you've seen these, and I know you like them all. So where are we putting Evil Dead?
I dislike any Evil Dead film?
Goes at the top.
No,
goes at the top.
I probably don't.
Yeah.
It probably is the first goat.
It is by, I'd say, a landslide.
I think the only one that not dislike, but just like stresses me out slightly is the first one.
I get it. It's such a guerrilla style film, isn't it? Like, it's crazy.
It's uneasy. It's not like I dislike this film. I don't want to watch it again, but not for the enjoyment of it. It's just I don't know what it was. It was the constant the screaming.
Yeah.
Like really, it gets to me.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is.
It makes you
It's
feel
just sort of
insane
like,
by the end, doesn't it? It's crazy.
Oh, you just feel a bit like, I didn't like that, but not in a bad way. It's just more of a, and then obviously once you get 2 and 3, it's just like
and then you get 28. Was it 20? What was the remake? You get that, which is incredible, and then you get Rise, which is awesome as well. So like, this is such a consistent franchise, and I think it goes in GOAT because it's just so good, so good. Mm-hmm. You should watch the TV show. The TV show's banging as well.
Yeah, it's on Netflix.
Yes, it was. I don't know if it's still there, but it was.
Oh, is it gone now? Is it?
I'm not
sure. Yeah, I know. I do need to. There's quite a few of these sort of series that I need to watch. But one day.
Cool. So I'm glad we agree on that because that is one of my favorites.
Our first GOAT.
Yes.
Yeah.
Going into a very strange franchise now, Hostel. What do you think of Hostel?
Hey. So I've watched 1 and 2.
Yes.
How many are there?
3. There's only 3.
Oh, okay. 1's really good.
1 is really good, yeah?
2 is rubbish.
Oh, really?
I was fucking bored.
Right, so this was the weird thing, right? I only watched these maybe a year ago for the first time ever. I had always heard that, like, oh my god, Hostel's so gross, so gross. So I was like, okay, cool, I'm looking forward.
First one is, yeah.
Bought them, watched them. Even the first one, though, I think the first one's really good. But even then, I was like, I've seen a lot worse recently. Do you know what I mean? It's quite tame in comparison now. And then, the second one, it kind of goes on and on and on. And then you get that one iconic kill where she's upside down.
Yeah, but that's it, really. You actually watch, because the first film is like about them capturing them and killing them, and there's a whole thing of it, like, it's dirty, innit? Like, the first film's dirty.
Oh, yeah.
It's got that, like, you just feel a bit, like, grotty after it. It's like
when
all
he cuts
disgusting.
that guy's heels.
Yeah, there's, like, some brutal stuff, and you've got the eye, the heels, like, there's some sick stuff in
There's
it.
some good comedy in the first one, though, as well. I find it hilarious.
Yeah,
really funny.
It is funny bits. And the second one is just, isn't a horror, like, it doesn't feel like it's even part of this
It-
franchise. Almost like a weird thriller.
Yeah,
In
it
a way?
does. Because there's like a twist, isn't it, towards the last half?
But yeah,
Because it's the two
sort
guys,
of
isn't
the
it? Yeah.
girl ends up becoming the next, like joining them.
Yeah.
But it's like there's no dirt to it. It's clean. It's all like nice, and it's just
Yeah,
I
it
don't know.
clearly
You have
had a
that, as I said,
budget
you got the
and-
one. But just do stuff with it.
Yeah.
Like you have the one class death from the upside down in the bath. Amazing. And I was
then
like, oh, okay, I've seen that. I
The
was
other
like,
one
yeah,
is
we're in now.
the man's certain little piece of his body she cuts off. That's a good one as well.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah, no, it is. It's just, as I said, it's almost like a bit of other than a horror film.
I lost you then.
Okay. Said it's more of. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, go.
Okay. So I said it's more of a rated 18 thriller.
Yes.
It's not a horror film.
Yeah, I can agree with that actually, because even I was very confused after watching the second one. And then the third one is a straight to DVD release that's surprisingly good. I actually had a really, I had a good time. They kind of change up the formula a bit, and it looks terrible. Like the acting's really bad, but it's actually pretty good. Like I quite enjoyed it. It's good, but I think as a franchise, I think that first one is truly amazing. Like a really good film. But yeah, I think it kind of goes right in the middle. Yeah.
Yeah. As I said, I really liked the first one, and the
Yeah.
second one is just like. I was
just
just
odd.
bored. I was just really, really bored.
It's a really odd franchise, but he is doing a TV show for it, so I'm looking forward to seeing what he does there. So
Yeah.
we'll see what happens. Next up, we've got Insidious. What did you see from the Insidious franchise?
I've seen one. I've seen one ages ago,
Mhm.
and I watched two.
Okay, nice.
How many are there?
Oh,
Three, four,
no,
five?
like,
Oh, five. You got like door and all that.
yeah,
stuff,
5,
haven't you?
I think, in total.
Yeah, I think there is actually. I really like them.
Yes, me too. I think this is a really, really solid franchise.
Yeah, I would quite happily watch more of
Yeah.
this franchise.
My only issue is the quality dip, in my opinion. I know a lot of people seem to really like 3. I didn't get it, and it's a complete departure from the franchise, and maybe it's just me, maybe I just didn't get it, but I didn't like it, so it put me off from watching 4, so I never saw 4. But the new one they did, which people didn't like, I thought was fantastic. So
Okay,
it's a
interesting.
really odd little franchise, and I think it kind of depends where you lie with it. But I think yeah, it's a really solid franchise.
Yeah, because I said I don't watch horrors, and I remember I didn't even know why on earth I would watch Insidious.
Yeah.
Because of all things, like this was the film that you'd think like, oh, this would terrify you. Like, but for
Yes,
some
yeah.
reason, I don't know. It's like I don't know what it is. I'm just like it's a bit unnerving, but
Yeah.
it's not like scary.
It does have the
The only-
best jump scare ever, though. The first film with the demons behind him. That jump scare, phenomenal.
Yeah. That was my only downfall of 2. Where it was what they call him, lipstick face. Is it?
Yeah, Lipstick Man or whatever.
I love him.
Yeah.
And I was very sad. I mean, it's very obvious, like right at the end,
Yes.
it's him that she sees.
Isn't it like the wife or in that one, like the woman?
It's
She's like in a black dress.
Yeah.
Actually. That's the second one.
yeah. It's the I mean, to get this and the Conjuring mixed up now.
Yes. Yeah.
But yeah, no, it's the woman. It's the woman. I can't really remember now. It's all a fucking mess. Yeah, it's the woman in that one, and yeah, I like this. I really like this series. I think I'd go banging from the 2 films I've seen.
Yeah,
Where would you go?
I think I'd also go bang it. I think it kind of teeters on going into mid where it kind of drops, but I think the last one for me was good enough that I'm happy to put it here.
Okay, yeah. As I said, it's one of those things I would probably watch the rest.
Yeah, and you'd probably enjoy the rest, to be fair, as well. You'd probably have a decent time. Cool. I think this next franchise is one of our best on here. So the Scream franchise. I think you've seen all
Oh, goat.
of them. Goat. Yeah, I agree.
No question.
I
I
agree.
fucking love
Yeah.
this franchise.
The boy.
He is. Yeah, no, I love this franchise. I mean, I think the thing I love most about this is it's just like it's completely different, isn't it, to all the horrors. Like it's like a whodunit horror.
Yeah.
Which is the best part about this franchise is the fact that every film you're going, which one is it? Which one is it? Because it's always one of the cast.
Yes.
And it's like up to you to figure out like
Yeah.
who it is. I think that's the best part of this franchise. I mean, the deaths are always pretty fun
Yeah.
overall.
Yeah, I like the new
Um,
ones that they kind of got a bit more gory with it. They kind of got a bit more creative, which I think is a lot of fun. Because through the first
Yeah.
4 films, it's just stabbings. That's all it is. But they kind of start changing it up in the later ones. And I think these films really perfected the kind of meta art where you can have a lot of fun with the audience while keeping everything really solid. And I don't think there's a
Yeah.
bad film in this franchise. There's a low point, but there's not a bad film. They're all really good.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, no, I completely agree. Yeah, there was definitely some betterness. Which one was it? Was it three or
3.
four when they were
3.
like 3 when they couldn't do any violence? And all that
Yeah,
sort of
and
stuff?
the plot is like they're making the film. It's a
Yeah.
silly one, but it's still a good one. Do you know
Yeah,
what I mean?
but it's still fun. Yeah, it is still fun. It's a lot more tame, but it is still fun. Yeah, and as you said, like the remakes, like I'm very sad the fact that the remakes have like basically gone. Like I don't really
Yeah,
know what's
we're gonna have a
happening
lot
with the
of problems
series
with
now
it,
go
yeah.
forward. But considering like how well they did, I'm genuinely really surprised that
Yeah.
there's like struggling so much because I mean they've done incredibly well.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is my favorite horror
Yeah,
franchise.
they're just so much fun, aren't they?
I love
They're a
these
lot of
films.
fun, and I think
Yeah.
it's just so solid. Cool. So we got the 2 goats up there. I'm very happy. Next franchise is Paranormal Activity.
I don't like this one. Dan.
So, which ones did you watch first? Was it 1 and 2?
I watched one. No, I did watch 2 after.
Cool.
So-
Go for it.
So yes, I watched one when it first came out at the cinema, and it terrified the shit out of me. So just for context, like I don't like possession. I don't like Exorcist was something that like messed me up. Do you know what I mean? I seen that and I went, no,
No,
I was
thanks.
too young to see it, but I was like, I don't like this. Whatever this is, I'm not a
Get
fan.
it off.
So ever since, like female possession, anything with a female that's possessed, especially children as well, but female for some reason, they just freak me out. I really don't like it. And I watched it and I really didn't like it.
Yeah.
You know?
Very
So
fair.
yeah, I had that woman crawling towards me and I really didn't like it. You know? It wasn't for me.
Right.
So come around time to go, do you watch number 2?
No thanks.
Well, thanks, buddy. So this is all you, my friend.
Right. Okay.
Actually, to be fair, I don't actually mind it. I rewatched 1 and it's solid, isn't it?
So the first one is obviously the best one. Like it's good. It's a good film, but I've never loved it. And I think they just got worse and worse as they went along.
Oh, really?
But that new one they did, I didn't see it. It's called Next of Kin. I think that looks like the most interesting thing they've done in years because it kind of takes away the found footage stuff and it's more of a normal film. So I really want to see that one. It looks interesting. It looks more of like a cult kind of horror, which looks kind of fun. But for me personally, I think it'd go Get a Load.
Okay,
I
no,
think
that's fair. I'm
that
happy with
first film is good,
not,
but I don't think this is an iconic franchise in any way. So
No, I mean it was half that I was a bit like, do I really want to watch this, like another one of these? Not really, because it probably scared me a little bit. But I'm also just not that arsed. Like I watched first and I said I can enjoy it for what it is,
yeah,
but it's not something I've never sat there and gone, oh, do you know what I want to watch?
yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's
No.
one of those where I'm like,
Like obviously it
Not
kicked
that arsed
it
about
kicked
it.
off a whole generation of found footage horrors. It kind of did for this what Blair Witch did back in the day, which is it's
no, it
really
did.
commendable, but
I know it's
it's
huge, wasn't it? It was
it's
huge when it
just
came out.
not my cup of tea at all, unfortunately. So
Yeah.
Get a Load. Okay, so next is my boy Hellraiser. Hellraiser, what are you saying? What did you watch? 1 and 2?
Yeah,
Okay.
I don't get it.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Fair.
I just don't. I don't understand what the hell is going on with these films. Like, I was expecting it's nothing really. I was expecting the whole what's his name, Pinhead, is it?
Yeah.
I thought it was about him.
No.
but it's not.
No.
It's
not.
nothing to do with him, really.
No, he's
like
not.
they kind of pop up here and there.
Yeah.
Like the first one's like this weird like love triangle thing going on.
Yeah.
I was a bit like,
They're basically sex
Oh.
films.
okay, this is interesting, man, and like it makes you feel a bit sick. That's what it made me feel.
Yeah, I get it.
It's gross, isn't it? Like,
100%.
I think the fact that it's just like 90% of this film is just man with no skin.
Yeah, Frank,
It's
my
just,
man.
and he's just ripping all the time, and it's just like it's just a bit like I don't know. It just makes you feel a bit uneasy.
the
And the
practical
second one,
yeah, so the second one is my preferred Hellraiser because it's so
That's
campy and bizarre Like, it's such a bizarre film. The lead character through that film, I think, is so fucking good because she's so weird. Like, I love it. But I think this film, it really shines in its practical effects. Like, this is a fucking amazingly made film. Like, both of them. So we'll just talk about 1 and 2. Like, they are so well done. Do you know what I mean? I think they're really well done.
Yeah, I can appreciate the art.
Yeah. Like, the end, you know, when Frank is kind of, like, hooked up. That is insane.
Like, yeah. It is really cool. As I said, I watched the second one, and I was like, the first one, I was like, this is kind of weird, man. And then I watched the second one, I thought, oh.
Yeah.
I honestly have no idea. I watched it, and I have no idea what happened. Okay. I don't understand the entire. I don't get it.
And that's the thing. This was one of those franchises I had no interest in. I always thought it looked boring. I put the first one on and I was like, oh, that was good. I enjoyed that. I enjoyed it enough to watch the second one. I watched the second one and I was like, oh my God, I fucking love it. Like, I love that second film. But this franchise fucking stinks. Like, it's rubbish. And I will be totally fair. I will take my love for the character and for those first 2 films out of it for now. The third film is okay. It's more of just a generic slasher with Pinhead in it. Like, if you want more Pinhead, third one's for you. Fourth one becomes a period piece back in, like, the fucking Victorian times, and then he's in space. No clue. Anything past that, 5, 6, 7, I think it is, were never intended to be Hellraiser films. They were just generic horror films that the studios basically went, if we don't use Pinhead, we're never going to use him again because the licensing will run out. So they went, just put him in there. They are so bad, horrendously bad. And then, how many more have we got? 8, 9, 10, I think there is. Straight to DVD films that are supposed to be, I tapped out after 7, but 8, 9, and 10 are supposed to be okay, semi-decent. And then the remake, there's one remake, which is actually really good. Like, the remake is really, really good. I like the changes they do. It's very good. But if I'm being completely honest, this goes down the bottom.
Oh, good. Okay, good.
It makes me so sad to say it because I love a lot of what this franchise does, but it has no idea how to do it. So for that, it has to go down the bottom.
Okay, yeah. I've got no interest in watching any more of these films.
No, and I never.
I was just lost.
There's a lot of these films where I'd go, oh, stick with them, you'd enjoy them, but this, you will not. It's such a chore to get through for some cool design creatures. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. No, they are cool. But again, it's just if this was Pinhead, the film, I'd go, this is pretty good. I quite enjoyed that. Mm-hmm. But yeah, it's just used way too sparingly.
Did you see, you know, the big guy who kind of has like the glasses on?
The shades?
Do you know what his name is?
What they call it? Bob, innit?
Butterball.
Butterball.
My guy, Butterball. Okay, moving on. So,
weird, man.
It's very weird. The Conjuring franchise. Now, this is another long one. I don't know if you want to look at this as Conjuring 1, 2, 3, or if you want to look at it
I've only seen 1 and 2.
The universe of Conjuring films that includes...
Oh, I see. Yeah.
Shall we say, for our sake, we're going to say Conjuring 1, 2, 3, or 1 and 2?
Yeah, we'll say the Conjuring as the film.
Okay. So I think this is a really good franchise.
Really, really good again.
Really good.
I really enjoyed this.
Yeah.
It's weird, isn't it? It's like an odd take. And I think it's, you can see, like, as I said, when I was getting this and Insidious confused, because it's similar.
I mean, it's in the same way, cast, isn't it? Like, essentially.
Yeah, I know, which is kind of weird. But yeah, I think when Insidious is like in the dream world, this is basically in the spirit world. Mm-hmm. But it's fascinating. I think the fact that these are real, like, based on real events, is fucking scary. Like, at the end of 2, when they were playing that thing, like, there's part of me that's like, I want to look into this. There's part of me going, do I? Like, it's in England. Do you know what I mean? Like, do I really want to know about some demons in England? Not really. No. You know, it's get too close to home for me. You know what I mean? Like, if someone starts doing all that demon voice from me, like, a good kick to the chops. Like, do you know what I mean? But yeah, no, they're really fun films, aren't they?
Yeah, and I'd even recommend finishing it with the third one. The third one's really good as well.
Yeah, no, I'm interested. This is another one where I'm interested in. I think they sort of, like, it's done well as well.
Yeah.
It's sort of like the first half is like more of like a tense horror, and the second one just turns into like chaos.
I
second half of every film just turns into
Yeah.
chaos every time.
I personally prefer the second film. Like, I think that second film is wild, and I love it.
Hello, Governor. There's a lot of those in it.
There is a lot of those. It's just like, this is a really good franchise, but it has a lot of fun as well. So I'm going banging. Or do you want to go up one? Personally, for me, this is a banging franchise. I think the third one drops off. It's good,
Okay.
but it's nowhere near as good. Like,
Okay.
I'd say the difference between the first film and the third film specifically, major differences. And obviously, with this whole film connecting all those, like, Nun and Abigail, what's it called? Annabelle and all that.
Annabelle.
That's where I'm starting to be like, there's too much going on. I don't like how they're trying to reach out to certain things. So for me, it'd go banging just because I think they try quite hard. And that third one kind of isn't the best film I've ever seen. Like, it's good,
Okay.
but it's up to you. What do you think?
Okay.
Banging, yeah?
I'm happy to go banging then.
Cool.
Mhm.
Let's put it there. I think it's a high banging because that first film specifically is made so well, and it is scary. That first film's really scary, and I just prefer the second one. So cool.
Yeah, no same.
Conjuring banging, happy with that. Next one is the collection. Yes, Collector and the Collection. What did you think of these?
I fucking love these films.
I knew it. I knew you would. They are so fun.
This is like, yeah, this was the surprising one for me.
I'm so
I
glad.
watched his first film and just sort of thought, holy shit.
It's nasty, innit? This is a nasty film.
Nasty, but it's just like, it's like psychotic Home Alone, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's basically what this is.
Mhm.
Like, this is what like stuff like Violent Night did last
Yeah.
year. Like, it's that sort of thing where it's just nasty.
Mhm.
Oh, so good.
He's
I mean,
a
the
creep
second
as well.
one, like,
He's a
ramps.
creep.
Yeah, no, he is. But the second one ramps it up like 10 times.
Yeah.
Which is wild. The second one is just pure chaos.
Yeah.
But I think that first film, for it just to be in a house, and for it to be so like basic, because it is really, isn't it? It's basically two people in a house playing cat and mouse. That's basically what they're doing.
Yeah.
But it's such a smart film. It's done so well. It's so like tense. Seeing them, I love the amount of shots you had, like the John Wick shot from above.
Yeah.
They did like when he was going between bedrooms and stuff like that. Like, it's so smartly
I'm
done.
so glad you loved this. This is crazy.
Yeah, it was amazing. Like, honestly, I was genuinely sad there isn't a third one.
So-
well, I mean, there is.
Oh, you've
I've looked
read?
into it. I know. Yes, I know it's coming. Don't you worry. But I know the collector. Like, I know
That's
he's
so
coming.
funny.
It got cancelled, but now it's back, baby.
That's so funny.
Yeah, this is it. Like, this is yeah.
So realistic. Oh, sorry.
I finished the second film. Sorry, I finished the second film. And I was like, "Where's number 3?" And then I was genuinely sad there
That's
wasn't number 3.
so good. I love the first film. It's one of my favorites. I think the second film on a rewatch, you see a lot of issues with it. I think they were again trying too hard to expand into it. I think the beauty of that first film is that it is in one house, and the ending's a massive shock when you get to that bit and he like, oh my god, it's so good. And I think the second one just never kind of carried on that feeling, which made me sad. They almost tried to turn it back into Saw, and I was like, this isn't, because obviously it's the same kind of team that made Saw. So
yeah, I mean, you can definitely see the influence,
And
can't you?
Saw was obviously so big, they obviously wanted another franchise. I just don't think the collection was how to do that. I think they should have done more of the first one and less kind of trying to make it more of a big scheme thing. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I understand. I do get that, but I still had a great time with it though.
I mean, where would you like to put it? This is you, because apparently you love this film, so I'm very happy about
I
it.
go top.
You want to go top?
Well, yeah, I want to go in the GOAT. There's 2 films and they're both class.
Okay.
So
Richard is going to be a very happy boy about this.
he loves these as well.
He
Yeah.
loves these films.
Yeah, they're just class, and they like it's horror John Wick. That's what it was for me, especially that second one. The fight scenes and all that, it's just great.
I can't believe you
Just
loved it. This
such
is
good
so
film.
good. I'm glad you had a great time. These are so fun.
This was great. Genuinely, like I was genuinely sad that we haven't got a third one. And when that third one comes, maybe I'll be there. First night, come on, the collector.
Cool, right. Here's the one we're all dreading. Terrifier. What are we saying? The silence. Go on, tell me.
Okay. So obviously the first one is fun.
So I just did the double bill in the cinema. I gotta be honest, I struggled through the first one this time round.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean, you've probably seen about 20 times.
I have, and it's just a bad film, but it's a lot of fun because of its main character, very clearly. That is it.
Yeah, I mean, art is fantastic. Let's
Yes.
get that out there.
Yep.
Art is fantastic.
Yes.
And I enjoyed the first film. As I said, it's silly, it's so cheap.
Mm-hmm.
It's so cheap and so shit, but it's just fun, isn't it? It's just like one of those where if you've got to take it for what it is, and it's just a bit of fun. Second one, fantastic. Until the end.
Right. Give me. Go on. Give me the deets.
So I loved all of it. I thought, to be honest with you, the bedroom scene wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be.
Oh, wow. Someone cried at our cinema.
Yeah, I thought it could have gone a lot further and a lot
Really?
worse.
Wow. Okay.
Well, I don't know, it was sort of like, oh, it's like wild and it's never end and all that. And I was like, oh, it's about a minute. It wasn't that bad. I mean, obviously it's bad.
It's the hand. Like, it's the in between the hand.
I was expecting to be like, oh my god, and I was like, oh yeah, it's another death.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know what's going on at the end. Like, it's almost like this film of like art is the psychotic clown guy, human monster thing, right? I'm on board with that. Fine, killing people, fine. Then they kind of get to the funhouse thing, and then I'm just like, oh, what are you doing, man? Like, if this
the fantasy
was an hour
aspects of it, is that
45
what you're getting at?
Huh?
The kind of fantasy aspects, is that what you're kind of...
Yeah, just didn't like it.
Right.
I think if this was an hour and 45 and it ended, for me, this should be a franchise where art wins. It should be he kills everybody and keeps going. That's what it should be for me.
Okay.
I don't understand why they need to kill him. Like, it's that whole scene at the end.
Did you
is
see the
like
post-credit scene? Sorry.
Yes. I've seen the post-credit scene.
Chris Jericho.
Again, what the so there's like 4 fake out deaths, 4 or 5 fake out deaths.
Yeah.
And it's like, what is... And then we have all the supernatural stuff where she falls in the thing, and then the dagger brings it back to life. And I was like, oh, I don't think... This isn't that franchise. Don't... For me, step the fuck away from all that. Get out of this... Like, ooh, he's supernatural. No, he's just a mad fucking clown that brutalizes people. That's what it should be.
Okay.
That whole thing, I think they just shit the bed with the story. The human side of it.
Yeah.
I was just like, oh, I didn't care.
Okay.
I think if the reveal was that Art was her father, I would have gone, cool.
Yeah.
A nice little twist.
Yeah.
Which seemed to be where it was going. It felt like it was going to be something along those lines.
Okay.
And then it was like, my father's seen all these things come in. And now I'm this person that can come back to life. And now Art has these things where if their eyes glowing, they're like immortal. I was a bit like, oh, I didn't know what the fuck was going on, basically.
Yes. Yeah.
The last bit I went, I don't get it. As much as I enjoyed it and I had a great time, it was that last bit I just thought, I just don't...
Yeah.
It felt unnecessary.
Yeah. Cool. So, here's the thing. Here's my feelings on this franchise. Now, obviously, you know I'm a big fucking fan. I swear by these films. But this is not a goated franchise yet. Okay. I think 3 is where it either makes or breaks this franchise. I've heard it's fantastic. I've heard it's really good, right? But what you're saying about the fantasy aspect, right? I feel the other way. I think they need to lean further into it. Because it sets it apart from all the other horror films because you've got this story going. The issue right now they ask about 65 questions and they answer about 2 of them, right?
Yeah.
And I've heard this continues into 3, which makes me so sad. Because if they can nail the storyline they're setting up, I think this could be that franchise you look back and you go, shit, that was ambitious, but they somehow pulled it off. And that's what I want this franchise to be. I want to be able to look at this franchise and go, shit, they took some big swings, but they nailed it. That's what I want. But you can tell the way they're going with it, they're not going to do that. Which makes me sad. No. But I think so obviously I love Terrifier 2 specifically. I think it's one of my favourite films to come out in a good few years. Because there's a lot of... The reason I love these films, and I'll probably end up going on for like 10 fucking minutes here, so bear with me. The reason I love this Terrifier 2 specifically is because the director, Damien Leone, he clearly had an idea and he went, no, I'm not listening to anyone. I'm going to make what I want to make. And I respect that so fucking much. With all the Blumhouse films that come out, all the remakes, everything, this is... Although it takes a lot of nods from more like Freddy and stuff like that, I think it's a very original slasher. And the fact that this second film is 2.5 hours is the biggest hindrance to the film ever, because every scene goes on about a minute too long. Like, every single shot of this film is too long. But I kind of love it for that, because it's his vision, and I love to see it. A massive studio came up to him apparently and was like, we'd like to buy it off you. And he was like, no, because this is my idea. And I respect it. That's what I mean. I respect it so much. I don't think it's a perfect franchise. Even watching the second one in the cinema the other day, I was like, oh, it's a bit long. Ooh, what is this story they're setting up? But I'm here. I'm invested. They've got me locked in. So what they need to do now is bring it home. And if they bring that plot home, this is goated right at the top. This is it. But I just don't see them doing it, and it makes me really sad.
No.
But I know what they're gonna do with the dad story. I'm pretty sure I've got that nailed.
Okay.
So, did you see the Terrifier 3 trailer? Sorry.
Yes.
There's a bit where there's a guy casting a weapon in fire.
Oh right, yeah.
That's her dad. I'm calling it now. He is the one that created Art. Something went wrong, and somehow they've obviously there's going to be sort of like hell place. He's going to be in there. He is supplying the weapons for Sienna to kill Art. That's what the plot is going to be, and I like that plot. But it just confuses me that in the first film there's none of that. There's nothing. Yeah. He's just clearly an immortal clown, very clearly, and obviously he's not a human. He's clearly something else. But the first film was literally he can do weird shit, but he's alive. The second film then went, fuck that, we're now a completely fantasy horror film, and we're going to throw all these mad ideas at you. I respect the ambition, and I love this film because of how ambitious it is. But that third one, like my anticipation of this third one is getting scary, because it has to be good. Otherwise this franchise could be dead. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I think it's going to do numbers regardless. I mean, this is the biggest new franchise, isn't it? Like everybody, if you're into horror, like this is it now, isn't it? Like as far as new franchises go in horror, like everyone, when Terrifier 3 comes out, it's going to do fucking numbers.
100%.
Like the numbers are going to be insane.
Yeah.
So I think it's going to be fine regardless. But yeah, as I said, it's interesting that you'd rather go down the fantasy route, whereas I go the other way. I just think I completely agree. Though I think they did ask like way too many questions, which is why I'm a bit like, ooh, just step away from that.
And I 100%, I'm there. I completely agree with everything you're saying, because the amount of questions they ask in this film is ridiculous.
Yeah, and then obviously, but I think that's the problem. It's because it's with him. As much as the best part about him is he's silent, it's the worst part for the film.
You reckon?
Because there's never an explanation as to how. Because this film throws like so many wild stuff for you to do with him.
Yeah.
And he's never there. Not that he's got to go, well, I come from here, I don't want that.
Yeah.
But because he's never there to like explain it, it's sort of like things just happen, and you've just got to kind of accept it. And it's like, oh, okay. I mean, that last scene, like, I was, as much as it's a fantastic scene, what?
Like, yeah, so
like what?
When I first watched it
to his head.
I'm sorry. I thought you were talking about the whole like end fight, but yes.
No. The final, the post credit scene. Sorry, which I mean is obviously where the next film's starting, because you've literally got Chris Jericho in the hospital in that scene. So it's literally going to be where this film starts. But again, I was just like.
Yeah,
what?
And that's what I mean.
Like,
I understand where you come from, but I think it's such a balls to the wall franchise film already. They may as well keep doing it. They may as well just go fucking full speed into it, but they just need to have the explanations nailed. And I just
that's what I need.
And I just don't see it happening. I'm praying it does. I'm praying I come out of Terrifier 3 and I go, fuck, that plot was good. Do you know what I mean? I want a story because it's kind of it could go a very Chucky way. I don't want to spoil how we think about Chucky, but obviously that franchise went from fucking 0 to 1 million. But it works. It works. That's kind of the beauty of the franchise. And if Terrifier does that, I think it could be one for the ages. Yeah. Not saying it isn't already with the practical effects that we haven't even mentioned that are obviously amazing. But if they do the plot well, this is it. But they just need to nail that plot. But I'm glad you enjoyed it. I'm glad.
Oh yeah, no, I'm really looking forward to the third one. I am, and as I said, I just want those sort of explanations. Again, like with Chucky just tells you everything, so you kind of go, "Oh, okay, I understand what's going on here." Whereas Art things just happen to him. You're like, "Okay," which I'm assuming ends up being Vicky. Is it Vicky?
Vicky, yeah.
I'm assuming that'll almost be her role. She
Yes.
seems to be more involved in this film, and obviously it's going to be her and Art and the child, which again was another one where I was a bit like, I like the child, love the design, but I was like, you're there. I didn't really get it because it was
Yeah,
again
and
it was a
only
bit
the
sort of
family
like,
can see her, isn't it?
yeah, like some people can, some people can't. Turns out to be this girl that just randomly murdered, and it was a
Yeah.
bit like, okay, I didn't really get. It was a lot of just confusion. But as far as like just pure fun, and the deaths themselves are fantastic. They are,
Unbelievable.
like, and
Let's be honest.
art is just cracking, and he.
Yeah.
You know what I mean, what a boy! Like
So,
I find myself laughing at him
oh,
constantly.
same. And in the second one, it's all the expressions. Like, he doesn't say
Yeah,
anything, but he says
oh,
everything with his face.
yeah.
Insane.
No, he was
So,
fantastic.
are we saying
Banging.
banging? I completely agree.
Yeah.
This is the thing. This is my franchise right now. Like, this is why I love all this shit. But I just need those films nailed. Do you know what I mean? That's all it is.
Yeah, no, I feel that.
So moving on from the hour-long conversation of Terrifying 1 and 2, the Purge franchise.
I love The Purge.
How many did you watch? 1 and 2?
Yeah.
So
I really enjoy them. They're not horror films, are they? You know,
no,
really. They're like
they're thrillers, aren't they? Really,
the action
they're actiony
films.
thrillers. Yeah.
Yeah, thriller actiony films. It's just a bit of fun. I like the concept of it. I don't know, obviously I haven't seen the election year and
Election,
year
yeah.
one and all that sort of thing. Like I haven't seen those. Yeah, of the two that I've watched, I want to watch more. I
Cool.
would watch more. I just enjoy this as a
Well-
franchise. I enjoy the idea of it. I think the idea of it is really cool.
Yes, I agree, and I think unfortunately the idea is better than the films themselves. But film 1, very good. Film 2, my favorite. I think film 2 is so much fun. The butcher in the back of the van, great. Anything past
Yeah.
that, and this kind of just feels like Blumhouse's excuse to make money, because they know this is
Okay,
this is their franchise. This is their fucking golden goose. Like they love this, and
Oh, okay,
they
fair.
sell every time. These films will make money. It's obvious.
Yeah.
Election Year is okay. It's more of the same from the second film. It's kind of like one continuous film. But you get to the first Purge, and that is a terrible, terrible film. Terrible.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's really, really bad.
Oh, that's a shame.
They really watered it down, because, I mean, these aren't gory or violent anyway. They're just a bit like, ooh, that's a scary idea. But they never, for me,
Yeah.
they never go far enough with the idea of everything being legal. Anyway, there's a lot more that could be done that isn't done, I think.
I mean, you could get a lot darker.
This
with
is what
it.
I'm saying. I not that I want,
Yeah.
not that I need that, but I think for an idea
Yeah,
like
no,
this, it's a
Yeah,
crazy
it
idea.
is. It is basically just
Murder.
you can kill.
Yeah.
That may as well be the rule rather than it being like you can do whatever you want. Because again, I think it'd be quite cool if you just had a bank heist, for example. I mean, if people just started breaking into shops. I know, like obviously all the shops got the lockdown, all that stuff. But like, you see them walking around, and there's very blatantly just shops.
Yeah,
that you
no.
can just smash a window and rob things from.
These films
Or
are just people
do you know
killing
what I mean?
people.
Yeah, it is just murder. So yeah, I think you could go down darker routes without it being. You don't need to do the things that we're quite blatantly
Yeah.
speaking about,
Yeah.
but you could definitely insinuate those and have something kind of
But
not
this is like,
happen.
there's a lot of
obviously.
plot lines you
But
could
yeah.
explore with this, and they just kind of don't. You kind of stick with what's his name, Frank Grillo, for the next few films, and I'm just a bit like, why did we need to do this? Do you know what
Yeah, he's pretty cool. Like
I mean?
he's really good in the second film.
No, he is, he's
I was
class.
quite interested in his story.
Yeah,
And that ending is fantastic. I mean, when they all sort of like there's like a big show about to happen, and the horn goes, and it's like, yeah, so it's kind of cool that that's like a thing.
yeah.
But yeah, fair. I mean, I really enjoyed 1 and 2. So if you think it kind of goes downhill after that, then
Personally,
where would
for
you
me,
like to put
this
this?
would
'Cause I'm
go-
just judging on 1 and 2.
Yeah, I think this would go mid if I'm being completely honest. But
Okay.
it is a shame because those first two films are really good. But it's kind of like...
Yeah, I go bang for the first 2, but then obviously
Yeah.
if
Yeah, and I think you'd feel
if
very
you
much
fall
the
on
same way. And 5, there's a 5th one as well.
oh dear,
Yeah.
okay.
So we'll go mid for that, but it's quite sad. Cool. So, next franchise is a very odd franchise. The Texas Chainsaw Massacre franchise. What did you watch? Sorry, original and Netflix remake?
Yeah.
Okay.
I love the original.
It's fucking
be honest with you.
incredible, isn't it?
what I loved about the original is it's completely different to every other thing in horror. Like there's no tension. There's no like, ooh, he just comes out and fucking brutalizes
Yeah.
people, and that's what I love.
Yeah.
I love the fact that one where he just swings his door open, grabs that girl, chucks her in, and hangs her on a hook.
Yeah.
Just like that is fucked.
Yeah.
But you're like, that is what I want. Like,
Yeah.
do you mean the fact he just grabs a hammer and just smashes someone? There's no like messing around. There's no like, ooh, I'm stalking you. Just grips you, batters you.
Yeah.
Love that.
Yeah.
Love that about the original. Obviously, they've all with his
Yeah.
chainsaw, chucking around. Class. Remake, well,
It's shit, isn't it? It's
it's
bad.
real mid, isn't it?
It's real bad.
It's real mid. It's just
but the
like,
kills
I
are
don't know-
awesome.
Yeah, the whole
Yeah.
bus scene, fantastic. He's just going to the bus, obliterating people.
Yeah.
Like, it is cool, but it should you. What I love with the first one as well is the fact that it's in his house,
Yeah.
and you've got all the weird rooms, and you like, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
you don't know where he is and all that. Whereas in this one, it's just you're just in like a village,
Yeah.
and it's a bit like it kind of takes that thing away, doesn't it? Where it's
Yeah.
like you can go wherever you want, and he has to like find you. I don't know. It's just something. I think it should have stuck to the house
Yeah, I agree.
rather than just being like, oh, he's just in a village now.
Yeah.
You're like, how
Yeah.
how has this happened? What do
So
you mean?
this was another
But
film.
yeah.
This was another film I managed. Well, the original I managed to see in the cinema a few months back, and I'd only I'd seen it once at home, and I thought it was good. I thought it was a very good film. Rich loves this
Yeah.
film. My brother loves it. I was like, it was okay. I watched it in the cinema, and this is one of the first times I can say I walked out feeling sick. This film, the first one, it really affects me. I don't know why. The sound design to begin with, that constant kind of oh god, it gets to me. It gives me a headache every time. The sound design is kind of the winner of this film. And the whole kind of just disgust of the whole film, like the table and the family, and it's just kind of a gross film, isn't it? It's really gross. I can't really judge anything else up until the new one because I haven't seen them. I've heard it's a really kind of in and out franchise, but that remake, I hated it, but I loved it at the same time because it's so stupid. It's a visually really good film, and I think the kills are awesome. Every character sucks. Like, let's be honest, they suck.
Yeah, it's woke.
That's like literally the way to describe this film. They made it for today's generation to be today's generation's what's it called? Texas Chainsaw. And I think these are just completely on different levels. Like, the first film is a masterpiece that would go GOAT, but the other one is not good. So I don't know where you would like to put this.
I don't know either.
Because they said that first film is so good.
Yeah, it's going to be tricky in it because, as you said, we haven't watched anything. This is one where neither one of us, we've only watched two films, a pair of us.
I think it should probably go...
I'd go mid.
Yeah?
Because I think if we're going to say one's at the top, one's like
it kind of
close to the
balances
bottom,
it out, doesn't
I think if we go mid, and then, you know, if we had watched 2 and 3 and we've gone, actually, this thinks it probably would be there.
Yeah.
But we haven't seen 2 or 3, so for that reason, I think
you know
we
there's
go
about
mid.
9 of these as well, right?
Okay, we'll go mid. Probably is, and it's probably fucking this as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, I haven't. Oh, Jesus Christ! Right, yeah, we'll go mid.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
I'm these films.
I'm happy with that. But yeah, it's just it's an odd one, isn't it? It's really weird.
Yeah.
Next up is another one I haven't seen a lot of the entries, unfortunately, but I've seen enough. Okay. The Hannibal franchise.
Okay, so I've seen 1 and 2. I think there's only 3 anyway, isn't it?
So there's Silence.
There's Silence, Hannibal, and Red Dragon.
And then Hannibal
Red
Rising as well.
Yeah, I mean, you know, yeah, I guess it is technically part of it. But as far as like franchises, really is the 3, isn't it?
Yeah.
With Andy Hopkins. Apparently, Red Dragon is a lot better. Silence of the Lambs is fucking incredible.
Oh, did you not watch Red Dragon?
No, I've
Okay.
seen Hannibal and Silence of the Lambs.
Mm-hmm.
Silence of the Lambs is yeah, as I said, it's fucking incredible.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah, no,
Like,
it is one of the best.
It's just like that whole. It's a weird one, isn't it? Because again, it's another one where is it a horror? Not really.
No, it's just
It's
a
not
thriller with the
really-
massive horror elements.
Yeah. But yeah, I loved Silence of the Lambs and Hannibal. Unfortunately, they didn't bring back Jodie Foster.
Yeah.
Boy, and it just you can feel it.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I mean? You can just feel it. Like I think that connection between Jodie Foster and Andy Hopkins is what makes Silence of the Lambs.
Yeah.
So good, because it is basically what it is, isn't it? It's basically one long interrogation with things along the way that happen, but that's basically what this whole film is. It's just these two and their sort of connection, this sort of like, I think with Hannibal, because you kind of just see him
Yeah.
doing things, it takes that away.
Yes.
I
Yeah,
think
I
the
agree.
fact that
I
the
agree.
first film is like, this man's fucking mental.
Mm.
Don't go near him, and you can feel it. He never does anything. Obviously, you have the whole thing where he murders
The guard.
the inmate.
Yeah.
The inmate
Yes.
is next to him, he kills him,
Yes.
but you never see it.
No.
So you hear about it, but you never see it.
Yeah.
And I think that like fear of just being like, this man could rip me apart, but he never loses temper. He's really calm. I think that's like what makes the first film so good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've heard Red Dragon is a lot better. I know Hannibal's the one. As much as Hannibal made stupid money, like Hannibal's the most successful, I think, of the franchise.
Oh, is it?
I mean, yeah, like Hannibal's huge when it came out. Yeah, it's probably the worst. Apparently, it's supposed to be the worst of the franchise.
So Hannibal's the one I haven't seen.
Oh,
I've
seen
seen
Red Dragon.
I've
Is it
seen Red Dragon is, in my opinion, awesome. Like, I really like it. But
yeah, no, a lot of people say that.
I think it's down to the cast. That's why I like it so much, because it is Ray Fiennes as the Red Dragon, Voldemort. So he is,
Okay.
yeah, he's sick as this character, and it's Ed Norton as like the kind of main character in this one, which is really weird. But
Is Anthony Hopkins? I don't. You said as Red Dragon. I don't know who Red Dragon is.
oh, so yeah, Red Dragon is like I can't remember what his name is, but he's like kind of the villain in it. I can't remember
Anthony
much.
Hopkins in it again, isn't he?
I'm pretty sure he is, but I can't really remember.
Yeah, Anthony Hopkins he is. So I did have a look, and I swear they said he was in. I think he's the one consistent in this film. But I think they don't kill off, but they get rid of. I can't remember any character's name now, but Jodie Foster.
Yeah. Starling.
Yes, but I think she's not in the third one.
Right. Okay. But yeah,
From what
I kind of base
remember.
this just off Silence of the Lambs, which is one of the best, if not like one of the hallmarks of this whole genre. Really is the best. And unfortunately, Silence of the Lambs ruined my experience of Longlegs, because everyone said it was Longlegs was basically this year's Silence of the Lambs. I was so excited, watched it, and I was like, what's this? You know what I mean? But
Okay.
as a franchise, I don't know how fairly I can rate it. Like, I can not really remember much of Red Dragon. I just remember really enjoying it at the time. Silence of the Lambs is one of the best, and it's whatever you think of Hannibal, really.
Yeah, it is tricky, isn't it? I think we can go banging. It's again, it's a weird one, isn't it? Because I think probably as a 3, if you're looking at it just purely from like success and stuff, it probably is good.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, this is as just 3 films. This is probably the most successful franchise as far as like actual.
I mean,
Not just
it
this
won
did a lot of
Oscars.
Yeah, no, that's what
Yeah.
I'm saying. Like, not only was it just like they did a lot of money, like this won. Like, these are the 3 best,
Rated,
critically
yeah.
the best rated films of all this franchise list.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'd probably go bang in then, because I think Hannibal is still really good, and it's still really interesting. Like, as I said, it's just they should have brought Jodie Foster back.
Yeah.
That's the one thing that kills this. Is it should have been her.
Yeah.
I can't remember who. I know it.
I get them confused. I can't remember her name, but I get them confused all the time. Like, I get those two actresses confused.
But it just wasn't. It wasn't the same. Like, it just wasn't. It didn't have that same like energy, as the first one did. But yeah, I go banging.
Cool. I'm happy to put it there. It's one franchise I need to actually get around to watching in its entirety. I will at some point, but yeah, we'll put it back.
Yeah,
I'm happy.
I'll
With that.
definitely go to watch Red Dragon.
Yes. So next one is our favorite little man. It's Chucky. Chucky franchise.
The GOAT baby.
Yeah, I agree. I think this is kind of really. I think it's a goated franchise realistically.
Yeah, I know it is.
But I can understand it not being for everyone. Obviously,
yeah.
It's such an odd little gem of a franchise, but I know we both love it. So
Yeah. I mean, this takes swings, doesn't it? Like you say, this takes risks.
yeah,
I mean, what was it? Was it Brian Chucky? But that film is like 30 years ahead of its time.
oh,
It's
100%.
incredible.
Same with
Like, for a
Seed, then that
film
came after as
about-
well.
For a film about 2 dolls, really, or a doll
Yeah,
that's supposed to be murderous, and the way this franchise goes is just
Yeah.
crazy. Like
Yeah.
the things this the things this tackles. What am I thinking? The the
Yeah, I mean, it's a lot of today's issues being tackled
yes,
back then,
yes,
and it's
the
very
problems
good.
I guess that they
Yeah,
tackled. Yeah,
and it does it so well. Like, obviously, we all know now this franchise is the creators of this franchise. They basically made this little family now. It's always the same people. The director Don Mancini's been hands on from the beginning. He's an openly gay man who tries to include his stories in the film. It's widely known at this point, but it never gets old. Like, this franchise, it's consistently, whenever they try and do anything, it's always consistently fresh. It doesn't always work, but they try, and you gotta respect it just for that alone. Obviously, yesterday we got told the TV show got cancelled after 3 seasons.
cancelled. Yeah, I did see.
Unfortunately, the last season wasn't good anyway. I kind of hope they just make another film now, even if it's straight to DVD. Just do it and kind of tie it in with the show and continue back with the film route. I think that'd be a much better thing. But as a franchise, it's consistently fresh. It always tried to do something different, and I love it. So it's goated.
Yes, I completely agree.
Fantastic. I remember you watching these and just having a great time. That was wonderful.
Oh, I love, honestly love this franchise.
So good. Cool. Next, we've got Stephen King's It franchise. This is such an odd one. Such an odd one.
It's tricky, isn't it?
Have you seen it all?
I've seen the original.
Uh-huh.
I've seen the chapter 1 of the new one.
Okay.
I haven't seen chapter 2.
Right.
Let's get this out of the way. The first It, Tim Curry, is fantastic. The film is dreadful.
Oh.
It's awful. As fair, I know you may argue, it's fucking boring. It's like the cast, I think, is dreadful. I think they should have done more with him. Like he's in the film about 15 to 20 minutes.
If that.
Of a nearly 3.5-hour film.
Yeah, if that.
So you've got 3 hours of these. They're not likable people. The kids are rubbish. The adults are worse. It's just they're not good actors, are they? Like, it's very obvious. Like, it is. I know it's technically a TV show, really. You can see, like, you've got like Tim Curry, and then you've got the rest. Like, who are just
that's kind of the biggest issue with it, isn't it? Tim Curry's so good, where even if the other actors were so good, though, like they'd still be outshined by him because he's so good.
Yeah, I think he needed double the screen time. So yeah, I didn't enjoy the first film. I found it extremely boring, the first film. And then the whole thing in the end, maybe this comes back in a second, I don't know, but I really dislike it.
What was it, sorry?
Whole like, ooh, I'm a big like bug creature thing. I was like, ooh, I didn't like it.
You're gonna hate it, chapter 2.
Okay, fair. I just didn't like it. I didn't like the whole bug thing. I didn't like the whole light thing. That was weird. The whole like coming through in light and stuff as we went. Like, I'm not really a big fan of that. But new It chapter 1, I really enjoyed it.
Oh, okay, nice.
So it was a better film.
Yeah, I'm kind of the complete opposite way around, if I'm being totally honest with you. I watched It Chapter 1 the night it came out. I remember going to the midnight show in a bit, and I thought it was really good. I really, really liked it. It was never like my favourite, but I thought like you just said about the original, Bill Skarsgård is so good that everyone else kind of doesn't seem that great. So I was like, okay, he's great, the kids are okay, whatever. We were kind of in the middle of Stranger Things early days then, wasn't we?
Yeah, no, it was. He's still relatively young in days.
Yeah, because
so,
I'm kind
probably
of
would have been like 2 or 3 series out of it.
That was kind of my issue again. I was kind of already over the whole Stranger Things way of doing stuff with the kids on their bikes and going out. I was kind of already over it. So I was kind of like, it was good. I enjoyed it, chapter 1. I saw it chapter 2. I thought it was good. At the time, I liked it. So I was like, okay, cool. I really like both these films.
Long though, isn't it?
It's like, that's like 2.5 hours on its own. It's a long one. I rewatched them at home. I think the first one is fine. I think the over-reliance on CGI really gets to me in the end. I'm like, fucking hell. It's like, it may as well all be animated at certain points. I'm like, okay. And then the second one, I don't know what they were thinking. I haven't read the book, so I'm basing this just on my feelings alone.
Yeah, it seems to be very accurate, doesn't it? Because they're almost the same. Just from watching chapter 1 and the first half of the original one, they're almost the same story, pretty much.
I don't know how much you care about spoilers for the second one, but
no, well, I've seen the original, so I know what happens.
Yeah, but they kill him by bullying him in the second one. They call him basically like a fat puss and stuff. It's really weird. And I just remember sitting there kind of being like, what the fuck is this? And like he turns into like a baby.
The original, they get him with bloody asthma pump.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I don't think this franchise is for me. I'll be honest.
No, it's fair.
I like the original because of Tim Curry, as you said. I completely agree with it. I think the actors are fine, and I think the story's fine enough until it kind of goes on a bit too long, and you're a bit like, whatever. But I think those new ones, I think they came out, they kind of shocked everyone because it hadn't been done for a while. But if you rewatch them, they're not good. They're not very good.
Okay.
I think they're just passable films that I never, ever want to rewatch. So for me, this kind of goes get a load, if I'm honest.
I'm not going to argue. I think the problem is the films aren't great. Pennywise is fantastic. That's right.
That is it. That is completely it.
Hey.
I'm gonna go get a load. I'm gonna go get a load, but it's an odd one because I want to like it, but there's just something I don't know. The TV show.
I think we'll have more fun discussion about him.
Yes, I agree, and I think the TV show will be okay, but yeah, odd.
Well, they've got a TV show coming, have they?
Yeah, it's called Welcome to Derry. They've brought back Bill Skarsgård. I think it'll be okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they just got to do with everything now, don't they? Next franchise, I think this is kind of unfair. The Exorcist. I think I've seen one and the newest one.
I've seen one. I mean, the one is iconic. The rest, from what I've heard or from what you've told me, 3 is supposed to be pretty good.
Yeah.
2,
as we know, not good.
Yeah, stinky.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, look, the first one it's iconic, isn't it? You know, like it's one of the horror icons of films. Really, it's up there, isn't it? There's very few horror films that are more highly regarded than the original Exorcist. Yeah. As you said, the rest is kind of like they should never have carried this franchise on.
No, I completely agree.
This is not a film to continue because it's a whole thing is that she's possessed by a demon. Mm-hmm. Like you can't really go in with it. She's not a monster.
It's not a slasher, is it? It's not a murderer.
No. Yeah, you can't really unless you just happen to bring back the same demon all the time. It's like, yeah.
Realistically, for me, I would go mid for The Exorcist personally.
Yeah,
I think the original is very good. Go on.
Yeah. No, I was going to say, you've got the original, which is GOAT.
Yeah.
And then you've got the rest, which nobody cares about.
My hot take is I don't think it's GOAT. I think, yes, it is automatically, but it's not for me. Not for me.
Oh, okay.
I think it's a very good film. It's scary, it does what it does, and it's iconic in its own right, obviously. But I rewatched it a few months back, maybe a year ago. I do think it's really good, but the beginning for me is so fucking slow. Like, it goes on and on and on. And then we finally get to what we're doing, and I'm like, okay, good, I'm here. And then, I don't know, it's just one of those films I'm never in the mood to, like, go, I'm going to put The Exorcist on. It's just not. And then they ruined it with The Exorcist Believer, because that is one of the worst films I've ever seen. And
the most
recent one, yeah. And already not being the biggest Exorcist fan in the world, they've disrespected the characters so much to the point where I was like, this is borderline unwatchable. It's so bad.
Really? It is a continuation of the franchise.
It's a requel, which is what the same as Halloween 2018 was, the same as Scream 5 was. It's kind of like a continuation while starting up again, you know?
Okay. So do they just is it like pretty much a follow on from one then?
So it's like a new. It's like a new. Yeah, pretty much. It's like a new family, but then you get, what's it? Regan's mum. She comes back into it. But what they do with that character is fucking unbelievable, and I hated it. But I am looking forward to the next one because Mike Flanagan, the director of Doctor Sleep and all that, he's taken over, and I think he's going to do a really good job. So I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, fair.
So are we happy with mid?
Yeah, I'm happy with mid.
It's sad because
one film, but
it's sad because it is the first one. It is obviously iconic, but you can't just have a franchise based on one film, can you? Like, it's crazy.
No, you can't.
A nice little silly one for us next is Winnie the Pooh.
I love this franchise.
Yeah, I know. Unfortunately, I do too.
Like, honestly, I like if we're being no, I'm not gonna be honest. It's GOAT. Both films are great. I have a great time with both of them. You can't really, I mean, you can criticize and you can probably pull things out
That's
that are
so
like
funny.
you can sit there and go like, oh, but they're not. There isn't a bad film. There's not. I was gonna say like, if we're being honest, it's probably like mid. It's not.
No,
I think we're
I'd
gonna
say
compromise on
banging.
banging. Yeah, I
Yes.
know compromise on banging. But yeah, as far as like, I just love this franchise.
Plus, it
I don't
kicked
know.
off our channel, but this kicked off our
Mm,
channel. This is a very
yeah.
special film. Like,
I
do you know
mean,
what I mean?
yeah, this should be our goat, like. But yeah, I don't know what it is about these films. I think the first one is just stupid, and really fun, and then the second one just ramps everything up a bit, and it's just like, I I just love it.
My
I fucking
my
love it.
if I'm looking at this, if I was looking at this as just like me, I'd say yes, this is a lot of fun. We've had good fun with them. We've talked about them at fucking nauseam at this point. They're great. We had a laugh. My issue, if I'm looking at it, was a more serious thing. This franchise definitely has an expiry date, and like it's gonna get to
Yeah,
that point
yeah.
where no one gives a fuck anymore, and they're gonna crank them out, and then it's gonna be nothing.
Yeah,
That's
no,
the
of
biggest
course.
issue going forward.
At the moment, we have two, and they're both great.
Yes. Hey,
So,
so banging, yeah.
yeah, man,
Cool, cool.
it's my goat, like, but it's banging.
It is. I just again, it kind of lasts on. If the third one's good, we'll knock it up because it'll be a good trilogy. at that
Yeah,
point.
it's just. I mean, it is going to be as well, isn't it? It's just going to be. We're going to enjoy it. Like, I mean, you've got the fact that once all the characters are out, and I think with this franchise now, the fact they're going into all this, like as we said before, it's like I don't really know what it's like Disney horror world thing going on. The Pooh-verse, or whatever you
Pooh-niverse.
call it. I think they're probably going to do three and then go on other things, and then it's going to end up being like an Avengers
Well, that's
style.
what they. Have you not seen the roadmap for it?
Yeah.
There's the Avengers Assemble one. I can't remember what it's called, but that's what they do. Yeah.
So, I mean, that's what I mean. I don't think. I feel like with this franchise, it's not going to outstay its welcome because I think the universe will outstay its welcome
Yes.
rather than the film franchise.
Yeah, I agree with that actually, and it kind of they're cranking them out so fast at this point anyway that it doesn't really matter. Do you know what I mean? Cool.
Yeah.
So, Nightmare on Elm Street, Big Bad Frederick. What are we saying about Fred?
This is the goat.
This is the fucking goat.
Honestly,
Unbelievable.
I couldn't believe it because I watched this and it's just.
What did
It's
you watch?
fucking
Sorry,
incredible.
one.
I can't remember one and
Three Warriors?
Three?
When he has
Yes,
the
Street
needle
Warriors.
fingers.
Yes, Street
Oh.
Warriors. Yeah. Honestly, like I'm watching every one, and I will own every one of these films.
They are
It's
fucking great.
unbelievable.
Yeah.
Like the effects in these films are just fucking different level.
They
Even
are.
now,
Yeah, they
look
are.
at them and you're going, holy shit! I love the fact that the way they bring him in, like the way that he always appears. Just that's the one thing. As much as the deaths and all that are fun, I love just seeing how they're gonna make him appear.
Yeah.
I think that's the best part of
Yeah.
these films is the fact they come up with all these like different wild ways
Mhm.
of just making him turn up.
Yeah.
Oh, but honestly, I couldn't genuinely because I knew we got into this. I was like, oh, it's Freddy.
Mhm.
Obviously, you know, similar to when I was going Jason, similar to going to Halloween. I was like, it's one of the icons. Fair enough. And I come away being like, Jesus Christ, these are like genuinely incredible films.
No, they
And
are.
the third one, what's his name? What's the strong boy?
Oh,
Mate, I fucking love
I
that
can't.
one.
Yeah, no, I agree. I agree.
Kincaid or something like that.
It's,
they call it, I
oh
don't know,
yeah,
something
Kate,
like that.
Kincaid,
Is it?
Kincaid.
Oh, mate,
So
that
sick.
boy. He's sick, like just constantly like fuck you, pussy, shit like this all the time, like just abusing. Oh, mate, honestly,
I'm
loved it.
so glad.
Loved it.
But the third one for me.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I only did these recently. This was a franchise that
Okay.
eluded me. I thought I didn't like them for some reason.
Yeah.
Watched the first one. When I saw that as a kid, that scared the fucking piss out of me. I'll be honest.
Yeah, no, thank you.
2, I think is good, but it's kind of it's not my cup of tea. 3, they nail that aspect of silly and serious, and fuck me, the needle fingers, like everything in that film. Is that the TV? Oh, like nailed.
Then he comes
Nailed
out and he
it.
does again, does it? Where he like appears coming
It's
through the wall. Or it's
fucking
fucking
perfection.
mind blowing.
No, it is.
Mind blowing.
This is the franchise. Like, I love Jason, I love all that, but this one is like,
Oh, no, yeah.
it does get like a little bit too silly towards the end. The last film, Freddy's Dead, is like, unfortunately, it feels like a parody of itself, where they took it a little bit too far. That's my only issue, but it doesn't matter because these are fucking amazing. So
He's almost like the one guy though, similar to like Chucky, where you can do whatever the fuck you want. Because
exactly,
he's stupid, isn't he?
I completely
He's
agree.
So stupid.
I completely agree. There was a level where they had the stupidity so perfect, and then they went just a little bit too far, and I was like, but it's still good. I still enjoy them all. It's a just not. We just won't include the remake. Don't worry about the remake.
Really bad, is it?
Oh yeah, really.
Yeah, I won't watch it, but I'm gonna watch every one of them.
Do it, and you'll have a great time doing it all. But you'll have a fantastic time.
I'm very much looking forward to it.
Cool. The next franchise I think goes straight up the top as well. Like, we don't even think we need to talk about it. It's Saw.
Oh yeah, God,
Saw.
fucking a series like.
Saw is insane.
Anyway, another one. Is there a bad film?
I'd say 7 is the worst of them, but still good. And then the newest one, amazing.
Right, newest one as well. What was 7?
7 was the final chapter, the 3D one.
Remind me, what's the start of it?
So you see the two guys in that shop, and they've got the saw. They're attached to the saw.
Oh yeah,
It's automatically the worst one, but it's still
Yeah.
good. This is the franchise, the best. I love it.
And of course, it immortalizes Chester Bennington as
It
well.
does.
So.
I was about to say the same thing. The man is in it. It's great.
No, so yeah, no, it is. It's the fucking one, isn't it?
Different level. It
You know
is
what I
so
mean?
much
It
fun.
is like, yeah, no, it is. It's just you can't dislike it. And again, that's another one similar to Scream in a way, where it's that whodunit thing. Isn't
Yeah.
it? Like they chuck these mad twists you and you go, oh my god!
Yeah.
Like, and as much it does again, another one that gets stupid.
Yeah.
It does obviously. By the
But
time you
that's the
7,
beauty
it's
of
just
it.
like
That is the beauty.
you're like,
of it.
what the fuck? But
Yeah.
yeah, no, it is. It is the beauty of it. Yeah.
There's people
I mean,
that take
it's sort of-
sides on whose favorite character. I'm a Hoffman man. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, you've just gotta love these characters. It's so much fun. I love it.
Yeah, no, I do love a bit of Hoffman. Hoffman's the probably cop.
The
isn't he?
cop, yeah, so good.
Yeah, he's the
Unreal.
guy.
He
Yeah,
is.
yeah.
Cool. Right. Next franchise you haven't even seen, so this is me. This is the Strangers franchise.
Oh, I love it, Dan. Do you know what? What a fantastic franchise. Eh? I love those strange people with the masks.
Great, man. Goat.
Yeah, there we go. Cool.
This franchise really, really fucking irritates me because it has quite arguably the coolest looking villains of all time, in my opinion. You've got the baghead guy, you've got Pinup Doll, and you've got the other one, and they just look amazing. They're so... this first film is scary to me. Like, it freaks me the fuck out. I don't like the thought of people being outside my window and then all of a sudden being in my house. Fuck that off. That's horrible. This first film struggles to get its momentum going, but as it hits, it is one of the best kind of home invasion films going. Like, this is great.
Okay.
The second one, for some reason, it came out about 9 years later, and they tried to do some sort of weird 80s throwback slasher with it. And it's really weird. I enjoy it, but it's odd. It's kind of like a bad version of that first film, but it's kind of funny, so it's enjoyable. Then you've got whatever the fuck they're trying to do now, which is reboot this franchise as a trilogy, right? Now, don't ask me why. Like, whose fucking idea was that? What is that about?
What do you mean? Now, sorry. So they're making a third film, or they're rebooting it?
No,
they're making 3.
There's a remake already, and they've planned it as a trilogy thing. So it's called the newest one was called The Strangers Chapter 1. So it's a remake, a straight remake of that first film, literally the same film, but really fucking bad.
Oh.
This franchise honestly confuses me because it has the potential to be so good, and they've squandered it every time, which is so weird.
Interesting.
So I think realistically, my love of the characters out of this, I think I've just forgotten I haven't put them in the characters tier list. What a mistake. But this is a get a load franchise.
Okay.
And it makes me so sad because they could be so good. It's so sad. The best part is that Dennis from Always Sunny is in the first film. Wonderful. It's so weird. And we're down to our last franchise, and I love this one because this affected you a little bit, didn't it? It's VHS.
Oh yeah, no, I didn't like well, no, right, okay. That first film is uneasy.
Siren, is that the one you're thinking of with the girl? The girl's
Yeah, the
face.
girl at the end.
Yeah.
Yeah, the girl at the end. Yeah, she wasn't great. And there's one before her. Can't remember exactly what it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, made me very uncomfortable that first film. Just a bit like ooh, like just a bit spooky, a bit like
It's the
ooh.
found footageness, isn't it? Because it kind of makes you think, oh, this is a bit real. But I think they kind of nail it. I think they nail that aspect.
Yeah, I think they nailed it in the first film.
Ooh, okay.
94, wasn't it, boy?
Really didn't like it. Okay. So out of the films that are in 94, what is it? You've got The Graveyard
Well,
Shift.
Which one was that one?
So you've got first you've got Ratma, Under the Sewers.
Yeah, that was interesting.
I love Ratma. It's great. Then you've got I believe it is The Graveyard. Then sorry, not Graveyard. The Funeral Home.
Yes,
that freaks me the fuck out.
Yeah, again, that's another. It's another like those two. I was like, okay, it was interesting.
Was it The Creation that changed your mind?
Yep.
I knew it.
Yeah, I didn't like it.
I knew it.
I didn't like it. I just didn't. The thing is, right, from the first one, there was enough there that I went, ooh, it's a bit uncomfortable. There was a few that I thought you could have done more with. Like if the first one, I remember this. You got the one with the in the woods, fantastic that one is. With like the sort of like you never really see him.
Yes.
Like weird, like blurry sort of guy that's killing people.
Yeah, the glitchy
that
thing.
one's fantastic, but only lasts about 10 minutes. That was like too short. And then you got like, is it the first one with the man and the girl who are on holidays? The girl's outside.
I think
they go there. They're like on a trip.
Yes, yeah.
And there's a girl knocks a door. I think that's the first one, isn't it? When it turns out that the two girls are together.
Yes, yeah.
I mean that it goes on way too long.
Yeah.
And you're a bit like, it's not that interesting. Like it was a bit spooky, and when you got to the end, you go, "Oh, cool little twist."
Yeah.
Again, like didn't go on. It went on a bit too long. So I think they kind of got their
timings
wrong. And I mean the overall story, fantastic. With the old man in the house, fantastic. Genuinely scary. Like genuinely like freaked me the fuck out that one as well. So that one is generally great, and then the second one, it just, I don't know what it was. It just felt like this series shouldn't have a budget. Yeah, they should never do this series on a budget.
Yeah. So here's the thing, all right? I totally understand where you're coming from, because even when we're thinking of VHS 94 now, Ratma looks really bad and clearly looks like a very 90s film, right? Then you've got the Graveyard, the fucking what's it called? Funeral Home one, which I think is really scary because it's kind of on a tighter budget and it's really claustrophobic. It's very good. Then The Creation comes in, and
they blew the budget on this.
They blew the budget. It's basically an action film, but I don't know what it is. That's my favorite one. I don't know why.
Oh really?
Because it's kind of a bit of a body horror action thing, and I really liked it. And what other ones?
I don't know.
What other short films are in that one?
Sorry? I think it's the monster one, but it's like when it's like the American sort of like the revolution people.
The protesting like kind of guys.
Yeah.
Not it.
That's rubbish.
Not it at all. Rubbish.
No, and even like the overall story in that one, which is a bit like
the FBI, isn't it?
Obviously,
the SWAT team, isn't it?
Yeah. Didn't care for that either.
Here's the thing with this franchise. I've seen all of them so far but one. It's just kind of a franchise of nothing. Do you know what I mean? It's one of those.
Yeah, no, it is.
But I kind of respect that it gives these filmmakers a chance to kind of, again, like Terrifier 2, gives them their chance to kind of shine with what they've thought of. I really like that idea of it. Yeah. The new one coming up, VHS Beyond, I think it's more of a sci-fi horror take. I'm really looking forward to seeing that one. And I rewatched 99 the other day, VHS 99, and I got a real kick out of that one. Only, it's almost more of a comedy than anything, but it's actually surprisingly good. I actually had a good time. But from what I remember, VHS 94, the one I made you watch, that's like my favorite one. So I think this is a really divisive franchise in where you lie, in which one you enjoy. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I guess it would depend on the shorts that you enjoyed, really.
Yeah.
As I said, I think the first one was uncomfortable and but still pretty fun. I mean, you got the vampire one to go, which is another good one.
My issue with the earlier VHS films is they're a bit a product of their time, shall I say? A little bit.
Yeah, no, 100%. I mean, that whole vampire one is extremely uncomfortable.
Yeah, there's a lot of
obviously. Yeah. Sorry, I was going to say, but obviously it definitely reminded me of remember that guy? I can't remember what he's called. He did the thing. Was anyone up? Oh, you know that?
No.
Oh, so there was a guy who basically made like a thing of he took photos he shouldn't have took and put them online
Right. Okay.
of people of just people, and
Mhm.
it felt like that. Like the
Right.
guy, the main guy
Mhm.
in that one felt like that. It's very much that sort of like American jock guy
Mhm.
that's gonna get his way, and there's like
Yeah.
that whole thing is very very uncomfortable.
It
Like the fact
is.
and obviously he gets killed, and that's fine.
No, but it
But yeah, no,
is. Yeah.
it's definitely questionable, isn't it?
Yeah, that's my issue with the earlier franchise installments is the
Yeah.
dialogue and how they speak. It's just a bit like we're over this now, and I'm not someone who gets offended by stuff. I'm not that person. But when you're kind of watching it and it's a lot of gratuitous not violence, nudity for women specifically, and then it's a lot of the way these characters are speaking, I'm just a bit like I don't know. And I think that's why I prefer the new ones, because they almost try to focus more on the horror stuff and a lot more comedy. I think they kind of blend it well. So I don't know. This is a weird little franchise.
Yeah, as I said, the first one was good enough that I was like, oh, it's a bit spooky. The 94, I was like, I just wasn't. I found it a bit boring, to be honest.
Fair.
So yeah, I don't know. I personally go mid.
Yeah, I think I'm happy to go mid as well. But it's one of those franchises where I could have one of them in GOAT, one of them in mid, one of them in stinky. You know, it's like a franchise you could have the short films
Yeah, it seems like a
everywhere.
bit of a it's an odd choice, isn't it? Like
It is.
it is interesting. I can appreciate the art,
Yeah.
I guess, you
Yeah.
know? Like appreciate what they're going for, the fact that it is you can just do whatever you want with it
Yeah.
basically. And I do like that like old video-y style. Like they nail the aesthetic, don't they?
Yeah, they do.
But yeah, it's just their films are not for me.
No, they're very odd, and I will every time they release one, I'm gonna watch it, but I can't guarantee I'm gonna enjoy it. It's kind of that franchise. So with that,
Perfect.
that is our tier list. It's actually surprisingly not as negative as I thought. I thought that a lot more things were going to be down the bottom. I'm surprised with Stinky only having Halloween and Hellraiser. That kind of, it's odd, but would you like to choose a goat of the goat?
Yeah, who we got, boy?
So we've got Evil Dead, we've got Scream, we've got The Collector, we've got Chucky, Elm Street, and Saw. That's a tough top.
That is very tough.
I'd probably say, for me, it comes down to this hurts me to say, but Scream or Saw.
Oh wow!
I know.
That is surprising.
It pains
I was
me
gonna
to
say
say.
it was you. It was gonna be Evil Dead, but no.
I love Evil Dead.
Wow.
I love Evil Dead with like every inch of my being. But if I'm ever going, I'm gonna watch like an iconic horror, it usually comes down to me feeling, do I want to watch Saw or do I want to watch Scream? I don't know why, but I love them.
Okay.
So for me, it comes down to those. What about you?
Yeah, I can agree. I mean, they're both franchises that I've watched every film, and I love every film. Where are we gonna go then, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I think
tricky.
Scream is more reliably good, personally.
Yeah.
I just think Saw is more fun.
Okay.
It's a tough
Okay.
choice.
Yeah. No, it is tough. It is tough. I don't know, Dan. I would lean.
What comes to your mind
towards
first? If you're thinking of these
Scream.
films, Scream, yeah?
That's what I would lean towards.
Yeah, me too. Scream 1 was my first foray into horror as a kid. It's the
Yeah.
goat, is it?
Yeah,
Nice.
no, I love. It's a franchise that I would watch.
Yeah, same. I could literally chuck on one and just have a good time.
Yeah.
So that is our ranking. That's good. I really enjoyed that. Scream is at the top, and we had a great time. Well, I had a great time. Did you?
Yeah. No, it was quite enjoyable after actually.
Yeah, this was a lot of work for you, wasn't it? There was a lot of work involved on your side.
Oh
Here.
Jesus Christ! Honestly, I do not want to watch any other horror films
No.
for at least a year.
Do you have any questions to ask anyone?
What? Tell us a franchise we missed. If
Yeah.
we missed a franchise that you were like, you're an idiot. This franchise is actually incredible. And let us know in the comments, and maybe Dan will watch it.
Maybe I will.
Have a wonderful time.
Maybe I will. All our socials will be on the next slide, and our little spooky ending. Thank you very much for watching, and we will see you next time.
Spectacular day.